You know, I still remember it to this day. Milan was playing against the Real Madrid of Jose Mourinho in fall 2010. A front three of Ronaldinho, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and Pato would have terrified any manager. But when asked about who terrified him the most, Jose Mourinho had one answer: Pippo Inzaghi. That was an unexpected answer, because as brilliant as Pippo Inzaghi was in his career, he was 37 at the time and just a bit part player at this point. The game started, and Milan were completely outplayed by a much stronger Real Madrid side and was losing the game 1-0 at San Siro. That being said, Milan's luck completely changed when Pippo Inzaghi entered the pitch, and it didn't take long for him to score. Like so many times during his career, Inzaghi only needed one chance to score, and 10 minutes later, the story repeated itself again. Pippo had another chance and scored the second goal of the game as well, just as Jose Mourinho had predicted, just as the whole San Siro had witnessed for years. The game ended 2-2, but in a football game that had Ronaldo, Ozil, and Di Maria, only one name shined the brightest. In a summer that Milan signed Zlatan and Robinho to complement Ronaldinho and Pato, it was a 37-year-old Pippo Inzaghi that saved Milan. But Pippo Inzaghi didn't always have the grace of the football world all the time. In fact, he was often criticized for his lack of footballing skills by the likes of Johan Cruyff and even many of his own teammates. And to be fair, they were not wrong. In fact, you'd be hard-pressed to find a moment of technical brilliance from Pippo Inzaghi, which kind of begs the question: how did he score so many goals? And how did he end up being a European and world champion with appalling lack of football skills? Well, to answer that, we need to go back, way back to when he was born. The year is 1973, and a certain Pippo Inzaghi was born. Rumor has it that he was born in offside. Bothering linesmen would be a running theme throughout Pippo Inzaghi's career, to the point that people often forget just how good he really was. He's even had some glowing reviews from one of the greatest minds in football. Quote, "He can't play football at all. He's just always in the right position." Ouch. That was Johan Cruyff, by the way, and we can all agree that he knew a thing or two about football. And he was not alone in saying that, because guess what? During his first ever international call-up, even his own teammates were shocked by Inzaghi's lack of technical skills. And his career didn't have the best of the stars either. After scoring 15 goals in 37 matches in Serie B, Parma signed him, convinced that he's gonna be the next big thing in football. But it didn't go well. At all. At Parma, he was a small fish in a very large pond. He seemed quite out of place in Serie A, but his time would come, and it was in Atalanta that he would score 24 goals in 33 games, winning Serie A's top scorer award as well. All of a sudden, all eyes were on the young Pippo Inzaghi, and it was Juventus that managed to sign him. And this is when a star was born. For the next 4 seasons, he formed a lethal partnership with Alessandro Del Piero, with Zidane playing behind them. You gotta admit, that's not a bad trio to have at all. All 3 of them became World Cup winners at some point. Even as a Milan fan, I couldn't help but to respect them. In his time with Juventus, he won the Serie A, an Italian Super Cup, and an Intertoto Cup. Honestly, not bad for a guy who can't even play football. That being said, as amazing as those 4 years were, history doesn't often remember Pippo Inzaghi with the black and white jersey of Juventus. And there's a good reason for that. Pippo Inzaghi would go on to create his most iconic football memories with Milan. And before we talk about what happened to Pippo Inzaghi's journey with Milan, don't forget to leave a like or comment, as a lot of time goes into making these videos. Thank you for your love and support. So, with the signing of David Trezeguet, Pippo Inzaghi was no longer a prized commodity in Juventus, something that Milan quickly took advantage of and signed him in summer 2001. And this was the start of the journey with Milan, a journey that would last 11 years. 11 years that would have him win 2 Champions Leagues, 2 Serie A titles, 2 European Super Cups, a FIFA Club World Cup, and a Coppa Italia. And while unrelated to Milan, he also became a World Cup winner during this time. But it's not just his trophy cabinet that's impressive. In his 11 years at Milan, he often produced on the big occasion as well. Most notably, a brace against Liverpool in the 2007 Champions League final. Feel free to call him lucky, but the man was the master of time and space. And he made a whole career out of that. He wasn't lucky, he knew when and how to get himself into the right place at the right time. He made his own luck, and above all, he was a winner. He scored a lot of rebounds because he wanted it more than the opposition. And you could see this in his goal celebrations. Every single time that he put the ball in the net, he had this childlike euphoria, as if it was the first goal of his life. No matter how basic the goal was, he would celebrate with pure ecstasy, screaming like he just scored in the last second of a World Cup final. It sounds silly watching it back, but it only shows his obsession and his addiction to scoring goals. After all, it was what Pippo Inzaghi was born for. Making a mistake in front of him was not an option. He would punish you with the precision of a sniper. He suffered horrible knee injuries at Milan, some season-ending ones, but came back again and again only through his desire and willpower. The same willpower that saw him succeed in professional football despite his appalling lack of technical skills. Anyone who says he was just lucky hasn't seen him play. Yes, he was found in offside a lot, but that's because he was always playing on the edge, waiting for his chance to score. It'll be interesting if we see another kind of Pippo Inzaghi succeed in the modern football. But one thing's for sure, Pippo Inzaghi's career is criminally underrated and misunderstood. I'm Football Drawn, and I'll be making similar content for Sempre Milan. I also do this kind of content on my own channel as well. If you like this one, feel free to visit my channel in the description. Thanks for watching, and Forza Milan!